Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Medium radio show. I'm your host, Rev.Ivy Rivera, psychic medium, coming to you from the Ivy League Psychic Academy in Buffalo, New York. And I'm here with my gorgeous co-host, Theresa Matuszak. How are you, Tree?
I'm great. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Awesome. Okay, and we are here with our tech guy, Jay, and our new intern, Nick. How are you, boys?
Good. How are you?
All right, awesome. So we have a lot going on here tonight. We have a lot of questions, and we have a really interesting topic that's been getting a lot of feedback this week. So what Tree and I want to talk on is a bit about how to best communicate with the dead. There are a lot of misconceptions about the approaches that work best in communication, and there are tons of mishaps that I see all the time that create a lot of gaps in communication. So we want to sort of bridge those gaps today. And the number one thing that we've found that the dead will step away from is having a demanding, controlling energy. The same way that humans do not appreciate being manipulated or controlled or being told how to talk or what to do, neither do the dead. So that's the basic outline of this show, is what to stop doing. A lot of people don't realize that they are doing it. They don't mean to, but we're going to sort of break that down. Then we're going to give you some very helpful tools in how to better communicate with your loved ones on the other side. And if you are a paranormal investigator, there are a lot of common problems that are still going on, even though paranormal's spread far and wide. A lot of people are still making the same old school mistakes that they always have. So we're going to give you some solutions there as well. As far as questions are concerned, you guys feel free to send in your questions for Tree and I. It can be psychic, mediumship, paranormal, lost objects, something personal about us, or spiritual development. Feel free to send those questions on in to you could text them to 716-602-1391. I'm going to give that one more time, 716-602-1391. You can also send them on to Facebook at, how are we doing this, boys? They're like deer in the headlights. All right, let's figure it out ourselves. So you guys can send your questions over to the Ask a Medium event page, correct? So it'll say Ask a Medium Para X on Facebook. Is that accurate?
I believe so. You just type it into the search up at the top, and hopefully it'll pop up.
Yeah, if you put it into the search bar at the top of Facebook, and you would do Ask a Medium Para X, the page for this will pop right up, and then people will just start to kind of post their questions there. I know some people are already doing that. We'll get to as many as we can. And some of the questions that we're going to be answering today were actually spill over from my live show that I do on Ustream on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. So in the event that some of your questions tonight don't get answered, I will be answering as many as I can on the Sunday night show, also called Ask a Medium. And if you are looking to book a reading with me, or if you want to do a $20 one-question email read if we don't get to you, you can look up my information at Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. And Tree, where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook, Theresa Matuszak, Matuszak. That's on Facebook. Did I just say that? I don't know. My brain's someplace else right now.
I think you did.
And you can email me at treestrunk@outlook.com.
And we were going to talk about a couple upcoming things. I know you want to do a plug on the...
You and I both, we will be, on January 23rd, we will be doing a craft show. You'll be doing readings. I'll have my jewelry. It will be at the Moose Lodge at 5437 Broadway in Lancaster from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's to benefit the community closet in Lancaster, New York. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. And it's a really, really good cause. Really great people. Tons of vendors. We've got authors, jewelry makers. I think I'm the only reader there.
I think you are, yeah.
But actually on Facebook, it's under, if they were to put it in the search, it's actually under Craft and Vendor
Show, I believe.
Craft and Vendor Show. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, though, you guys can find us on Facebook and see we're posting on that all week. Also, we have a class, Meet Your Guides, is coming up this Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys can Skype in if you can't make it in here. It's $25, and it's a class that I teach where I also lead you through exercises to meet individually each one of your guides, including your Akashic Record guide, who holds your past life information. Everybody needs to do this at one time or another. I love this class too.
Oh my gosh, it was such a eye opener, mind blowing kind of a crazy thing. I ended up crying in the middle of class.
A lot of people are.
It seems like there's a lot of emotion that comes in. It almost felt like it's like, hi, nice to meet you again. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, and our guides are, they've been with us our entire lives. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's almost like you've got a, reuniting, and it's like, your imaginary friend is back, and it's pretty wild stuff. So, yeah, anyways, you guys, you need that to be able to sort of develop and move forward. So try to attend. Okay. Well, I want to get right into the topic here, because this is the most unfortunate thing that we see going on is, in communication with our loved ones on the other side, or if you're a paranormal investigator, there is a tendency for people to basically be rude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how... I mean, it seems like a lot of people just get demanding, like how you see in readings, especially, like, well, I want to hear from this person, and I want this, and I want this. Sometimes they're like, well, can you bring in my grandpa, and I want to know the code to the safe? And it's
they do.
And
they're not kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, we wouldn't demand these things of the living. If your grandfather was still here, certainly you wouldn't be demanding of him, tell me where you put the money, or I had one client, and he sent his whole family in after. They were all asking me the same thing. What is the Facebook password? What is this? And the guy on the other side was like, "This isn't happening. Like, I'm not giving them my Facebook password." And they wanted to know where his headphones were and where his this was and that was. And he would answer the majority of the questions, but because he would not answer everything, they were disgruntled. They were displeased. They're putting it on me as the medium that this must not be a real interaction. And I said, you know what, that's it. I'm fed up. And it was around that time I added it to the curriculum for, the students with psychic mediumship development. You don't be rude. Mm-hmm. If you wouldn't put those demands on the living because it was none of your business, right? Or you want people to experience free will when you're communicating with them, we need to do the same thing with the dead.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So a better approach... What would you say is a better approach than, what is the password?
Well, I would just say, I mean, honestly, like, go into any reading open-minded and think of who you want to hear from, and then if you don't hear from that person, you can ask, but I would definitely ask at least a little more politely, and honestly, don't look for those hard-to-ask things, you know what I mean? Like we discussed, like we talked about on a previous show, we're not fortune tellers, we're not mind readers. Like, we can't give personal information like that deep. Like if especially if they're not wanting to give it.
Right, not from them. And could we pull it psychically? Probably, but is it for us to do? Not always. So we work within a certain ethical code, and it's their information to give. And if it were a criminal case or something like that, I'd be far more lenient in dipping into, my psychic abilities and pulling that kind of information out. But the number one problem that I see is people coming in demanding that the dead put on a show for them, do a trick for them, show them that they're there, or to give them an answer to something. And then whatever response the dead give, they're like, that's not good enough. That's not what I wanted to hear. This isn't a real interaction. And as the medium, this is just my personality, but I don't care. If you're not satisfied, that is not my problem. I did my job. I showed up. I'm talking to the dead. That's my job. Mm-hmm. So you're not affecting me by being disgruntled. But what the dead will do is leave. Spirit will just hang up. They'll pack up the show. And they're like, that's it. I'm not doing this. And, imagine being stuck in that situation repeatedly where you're showing up, you're traveling the cosmos, you came to communicate, and you're being rejected. It's not a good, how do I want to say, energy exchange. Okay, so we want to look at things in terms of energy. If you're super demanding, what do we talk about this in class all the time? When we're super demanding or we let ego get involved, it creates
blocks. Yeah, we get immediate blocks. And like you were saying before, they will back up too. And it's like we can really only give what they're giving us to give. Mm-hmm. And if a person gets too demanding or even, dare I say this, but ungrateful,
yep,
they're gonna back up, or they're gonna get upset too, because they still feel things. They're still there.
And they're trying really hard.
Yeah,
and this is another language, and they're not all good at the language. The same way the majority of us are not fantastic at mediumship because we don't know the language, because we haven't trained. They're over there on the other side training and learning the language. Mm-hmm. So we got to cut them some slack. They're not all like the best at it. The smartest thing you guys can do when you're coming into a reading is exactly what Theresa said, is be open. And one of the most ridiculous things you could do is to set up a whole bunch of code words and nicknames and specific things that this loved one on the other side has to bring up for you. Yeah. Right when you're demanding it. And if they don't do that, then they're not really there. It is the biggest slap in the face to them. And, it's not that it doesn't happen. I have a lot of clients who come in and they've hidden 3, 4, 5 objects in their purse. And I can call out those objects, and they're pulling them out, and they're like, oh my God, and they got a little, statue of a frog, and they have an old locket, and they have a piece of hair from somebody's, and it's like, oh, that's amazing, that's amazing. Okay, that's great, if that happened. And if they didn't want to give me that information, that would be fine too. And you have to be willing to accept it either way. And that is being loving. That's being open.
Absolutely. I think, not only being accepting, being mindful of what, may or may not happen, being a little bit more sensitive. Not just the person sitting in the chair, but us too. We have to be sensitive to the spirit coming through and the person in the chair, because depending on the message, emotions are going to run. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we're always giving those positive messages where the emotions aren't going to get nasty or anything, but be mindful, just be aware, just be more open. The more open you are, and think about what you really want the message to be, and maybe they'll come through and they'll just be like, well, here you are. They'll reward you with that message because you were mindful and you were respectful and you were more sensitive to yourself, the medium, the spirit, all the way around. All love, love, love.
Totally a respect for the system. And this is where our society is seriously deficient. They don't understand mediumship. They don't understand, this isn't this is just a quick psychic street read. This is a 3-way connection. It's us, the medium, with the sitter and spirit. And in order for there to be a nice flow, everybody needs to be respected, bring respect and openness to the table. I love that. Totally. Okay. Or you're going to get the ugly side of us. Who knows? That's when it's just pack it up. Not today. I'm not your medium today. Out of the chair. And sometimes you watch, especially when mediums are doing gallery reads. Yeah. You'll watch them go to someone in the audience and say, "Are you open to receiving this message? Can I come to you?" Right. And if they cross their arms and they get a spoiled look on their face and it's like, what's that smell? You just move. You just move along. And why does the medium move along? Because spirit's going to drop them anyways.
Right, yeah. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Stand there with, a blank look? Well, I had something for you, but...
And, I did have something for you, but it's gone now. Because you immediately... Yeah, just never mind, essentially. So we don't ever want to get there. So stay open.
Why are they there, too? That's what I wanted.
Why are they there? Why do they pay? Why do they pay and book it and come all the way? I don't know. But it happens. It certainly happens. We just need to be more open, and I do understand that people... I know that we want, and I know that it's hard to have this divide. You have a loved one that you got used to, and you now have this space, and you're trying to bridge this gap of communication, and it can be very frustrating. And, there are a ton of emotions involved, but please control your emotions. Remember your manners. It's the same rules with the living. It's just... It takes a little bit of time and practice with the communication.
Absolutely. I mean, I do have to say, too, is that when my father passed away almost 5 years ago, I wanted nothing more than to hear from him. Like, I'm just like, where are you? You know, with my abilities being what they are, I wanted to hear from my dad. And it was so heartbreaking for me. You know, I'm daddy's little girl. So it's like, where did you go? You know, it's upsetting. But it took almost 4 years. And I do believe that your loved ones, no matter how much you were attached and how much you love them, when they cross over, they have a job to do themselves. And it takes time for them to even feel that you are ready. Absolutely. You know, to even receive something. It can be the next day. It can be 4 years down the road. It may not be until 20. It depends on what's going on. So I waited and waited very impatiently. But when it came through, I really wasn't expecting it to come through, because I had kind of just let it go and said, well, he's there, he knows I love him, and so forth. But when it finally came through, I'm like, don't do this to me now, because I was in the middle of level 1.
What was he doing?
He came through. He brought a group with him, because it's like it felt very angelic. I think he had angels or somebody help him come through. But I was in the process. It was level 1. I was in the process of trying to learn not only my joy guide, but symbols. Okay. So it's like right in the beginning of level 1. Mm-hmm.
Which is the level 1 psychic mediumship development class that we do here at the Academy. Awesome. And I remember this.
Yes, and I'm sitting there and I'm getting some symbols that you had mentioned in class. Then I started getting new ones, and all of a sudden my symbols became very cartoony. And I'm like, why are they so animated? I know I'm kind of animated, but why are they getting animated? Then I started seeing a heart. Then it was different forms of hearts meaning different types of things, like a broken heart meaning obviously loss and so forth. A heart with a Band-Aid meaning wounded. So then all of a sudden I got a message with those symbols. And it was a message, and I felt him coming. And they have the same energy feel when they come back. Yes. But they do feel it's a little bit more, I guess, raw and a little bit more pure in some sense. So it's like when he came through, I'm sitting there, I'm going, Dad?
Yes. Like questioning, feel. Yes.
And then all of a sudden I started getting a message, and because I have also at that point started learning automatic writing, I started writing it down, and I sat and I cried and I bawled, and I'm like, I love you, thank you, I miss you, but please don't do this to me in the middle of a reading.
But you were kind of here to do it. Yeah, I know. It's never it's just never the right time.
It wasn't
We're just never satisfied.
But then I got a reading from one of my fellow students.
This I remember.
Later,
yes, and he was there.
And he was there, and finally he came through on a reading for me. So I was just like, oh my gosh. And she goes, he feels so hesitant, like he's afraid. I'm like, okay, Dad, come on. Like I gave my permission. And then as soon as I said, give it, let her have the message, he wouldn't stop.
Well, and this is what's amazing too, is I had a friend who had passed, and it took over 5 years for him to come through.
Yeah.
And I had, when my aunt was passing, I was by her bedside for 4 days before she actually passed. Mm-hmm. And we did something I call now death coaching. Right. And I train you guys in level 2 on death coaching, where you can set up a symbol base, and you can set up the communication the way that it will be once they cross, before they're actually gone. And so I had, while she was out, almost in a coma state, I had said, use a rainbow to let me know that you're around, and we came up with all these symbols. The minute she passed, I went outside, and it was a sunny day in North Carolina, and there was a full beam rainbow up in that sky, and immediately, and she was actually communicating before she passed. I thought she had passed 3 different times. She was communicating with me in spirit while still technically the body was alive. So we can have it early. The communication, we can build up that communication while they're still technically here. That is the best way to go about it.
Right.
Or it can take a while. And we just have to remember, number one, it is a myth that is still being trained out there these days, typically, that it takes a year to a year and a half for them to communicate. It is a myth. But there can be a learning process. This is true. So you just don't really know what you're going to get. And on that note, I know we want to start moving on to some questions, but when we come back, I think we should talk about that emotional element that can push them away, because then we have people who would never demand anything of them, but they're a basket case. Yeah. And we've all been there, and I want to talk about that a little bit when we get back here. Okay, I know we have some questions coming in. Boys, do we want to, were there two on that?
Yes, there were 2 Facebook
Okay,
questions.
what do we have?
We have one from Juna. She wants to know, so if you lost something, how do you ask for help without offending,
Okay, great. That's a good question. So, Juno, how do you ask for an object without offending them? It's not offensive to them to ask. It just isn't necessarily a priority for them. They're not attached to these objects anymore, and unless it's something really detrimental to you, they may not even bring it up at all. And even you asking, it does seem to sometimes just elude them. And they'll just talk about other things that they've been dying to say to you. So just do what we had said, which is be open, be grateful for whatever they give. But, do ask in a respectful manner. Could you show me where you put this? This is important to me. And I would say that if they don't answer right away, ask several times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, my dad used to have a saying that was, ask and ye shall receive. That's a very biblical saying too. Mm-hmm. And even through like level 1 psychic mediumship, even now through level 2, I'm constantly reminding myself of that, because what happens, we ask, whether it's our guides, spirits, whomever, to show us, and boom, there it is. It might be that day, it might be in a couple days, but there it is. So just verbally put it out there. Your intention, your word is a very strong thing.
Absolutely.
So be respectful, be mindful, and just bring it out. Don't demand.
Yeah. No, and just that's it, is don't demand. And another myth, we need to do a show on myths, but another myth is that you can't ask. I was at a gallery reading this summer, and I had an older medium went up, and he said, well, we can't ask spirit anything. And I thought, this is a shame. I mean, this is what our whole entire, method is based on at the Academy. Is
I do it all the time.
Oh my God, we have to. I mean, interact with them. With them. It's, you don't have to be nasty about it, but interact with them. So go ahead and ask. There's no harm in asking. It's the demanding and shutting them out and shutting out the medium when you don't get the answer you want. That's off. Right. Okay, and what's the other question?
This one's from Elizabeth, and she says, I have a major national board exam in January. If I don't pass, I am jobless. Starting to doubt myself and question my decision. Do I have a chance at passing?
Yes. Absolutely. I feel like there are 3 different areas on this exam that are going to... Ooh, you feel that anxiety?
Wow.
my like forehead sweating.
Stressing out.
Yeah, in the heat of the moment. So I want to say that there are going to be 3 different areas on this exam. It's like I get started, I'm tripped up a little bit, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm good, I got it. And then I'm going along, and everything fine. And then I get toward the end. And, then there are 3 questions, and you're seriously second guessing yourself. And I feel like, okay, here's something that we train on, okay, here at the school. Your first impression, okay, what you intuitively knew first is the right answer. Mm-hmm. Okay? Don't second guess yourself and get into that cycle. And I just want to say control your mind before you get in there. You have exams coming up in a couple months or weeks or whatever it is. You are in a great period of time to start training your mind right now to kick that self-doubt and negativity out. And I would start training your brain.
I'm getting a lot of coffee and like those like Red Bulls or something. My heart was like bump, 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 beating out of my chest here. No, I'm feeling she definitely got a really good head on her shoulders. She studies, she works hard. All that will definitely pay off. But don't let the stress and the anxiety get the better of you, because you're going to sidestep some stuff at that point if you do let it get the better of you. So what you were saying, definitely with the, prepare your mind and everything else, I agree with that completely 100%. But I see she's got this.
I think so too. Absolutely. And so, really what you're going to want to do is, calm yourself in those moments. I would even say it's safer to jump over a question. This is something we do every now and again. I train the students, every now and again, if you feel like something's really putting you under the gun and you're in the middle of a reading or you have to give the right answer, jump over it, give yourself a minute to regroup, and then go back. That would be smarter than staying on it and punching yourself in the face. Yeah. But yeah, it looks real good. And I see a totally successful future with all of this.
Good high mark too. Like
sure.
I've seen a nice good high number. Like it's not like borderline. Oh God, passed by the skin of my teeth. No, it's kind of up there.
Yeah, it's kind of up there. I'm feeling if you were in grade school, you'd be pulling like a 92. Maybe high mark is like a 96, but definitely up there.
We get to stay out till dark, right? If we pass.
Can I, Mom? Did I earn it? Okay, I know we have 2 more coming in through here, and then I have a whole bunch here on text. So, do we want to get over to one of these?
Sure, we have a question on Pair X from Snooglekins.
Oh, Snooglekins.
Love these names every week.
He or she wants to know, my question is, what my life is going to be once I move away to college.
Okay, Snooglekins wants to know, what is my life going to be?
Crazy.
It feels like a lot of, how do I want to say this? No space for yourself. No space for yourself, no time for yourself. I'm going to tell you this. The first thing that I want you to do is to realize that you feel like a very sensitive person. So I'm going to label you as an empath. Google it if you can make it in for the empathic means class. I believe it's in February. I'm not sure, but it's up on the website. You would be wise to train in this because you're going to have energy coming at you from every angle. And I would encourage you to find some space away for yourself. It feels like there might be water nearby where you could go get down to, a river or a creek. And I think you need to make it your home base. I also feel like stay out of coffee shops and atmospheres where you think you're going to be able to make a nice little cubby hole for yourself. It feels like that's almost overwhelming and counterproductive in that. But I sense a great deal of happiness and almost like you don't know when to shut off. Like you're so stimulated socially. I feel like you really being surrounded by a bunch of people who really love and enjoy your energy and a lot of success with class. Seems like you have a good head on your shoulders. I want to say just stay focused. Seems like you start off focused and you start to slip. Your last 2 semesters, this is no time to take a nap. What are you getting, Tree? Same identical?
Every single thing you just
same
said.
Identical thing.
I agree completely, though. Like, she's definitely got a good head on her shoulders and can stick to the books, but I'm also getting that when life starts to get a little happy or hectic, it's like that will kind of run over, too. So I'm seeing stick with your studies. Don't overwhelm yourself. Know when to lay back, when to relax a little bit. It's okay to go to a mixer or something, but get back to your books. Try to find a happy balance, like that happy medium, and I think she's gonna do a great job.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like you're independently motivated. Like I feel like I'm not saying you don't have great parents and teachers who've been telling you this, but it seems like you did it on your own. Mm-hmm. You already know how to do this. So really great things. Ton of success. Good luck with all of that. Do we want to take this last one, and then I'll get on to text?
This one's from Snookumkin, and he wants to know.
Didn't we just talk to Snookumkin?
I think it was.
Was that Snookum?
That was
previous one was Snooping.
Oh, Snookumkins, and this is Snookumkin.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get confused.
I'm ready.
Okay. He wants to know, I'm wondering if my daughter will end up moving back home with me.
Oh. Kinda, yeah. That's basically what that feels like.
Short period of time. If so, yeah. Like it feels like she's there, but then off again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels to me real. When you can't feel yes or no one way or the other, it's sort of really both. And so this is one of those I'm feeling like over a 2-year period of time. I'm here, I'm not. I'm here, I'm not. I actually felt like not for a while. It was almost like I'm more away. I'm not completely and totally gone. But there is more of a divide. And then it's like, I'm coming in, but it doesn't feel like staying quite that close. So I'm just going to put it this way, in summation, the way that this relationship looks is that there will always be a bond, there will always be communication, but it's not necessarily in the way that you think. And while I think you need to keep the door open, you need to do and say whatever you need to for what it is that you want, to have her there. I feel like don't force it, kind of like our topic today. Yeah. I feel like just be open because it's okay.
That supportive role is very important, I think, for both of them. It kind of, I'm feeling like a big filled space of like, no, don't go. But then I'm feeling like, bye, like, gotta go. So I think it's both of them really that I'm feeling. But definitely be supportive for what she chooses to do. Have her back, let her have it, because that means a lot too. But yeah, I kind of see her coming and going. Like she's gonna come, but it'll be a short period of time. I'm 2 months. Maybe?
Yeah,
I'm
I just
getting
keep
like
getting
a 2
2.
month.
Yeah, yep. It's like
Those
two
wonderful
is
hands of
closer,
mine.
but then it's like over the course of like a 2-year period.
Yeah.
So, again, the thing is with her energy, it's part of her destiny chart. It's charted for her that she would sort of have this kind of wild, I'm all about type of energy, and that's okay. She also has depth to her, and you guys really do have a lot of great connections between the two of you. So just enjoy that. Okay, thank you so much for that question. I want to give to them one more time real quick how they can log in their questions. So I'm just going to go over that. Again, if you guys are sending in paranormal, psychic, mediumship, developmental questions, you could send them in through text directly to me at 716-602-1391. Or you can put in the search bar on Facebook, Ask a Medium Para X, and that'll take you right to the event page. So that's Ask a Medium Para X, and on that page you can list your questions there, and our tech guy and assistant here are taking them. Okay, so I want to start moving on to some other questions that we have here through text. You want to do like 2 more, and then we'll get back to the topic, and then we'll try to see if we have time to go on to some others.
Sounds good to me. I'm warming up.
I know, right? And it's the heating vent right above us is actually what that is. What that is. So 9 from a 949 number. What state will I be working in next? How long will I be doing this job until another job comes along so I can stop traveling? And also, what would the next job be? Okay, so that's 3 questions in one, but I think the first question was the third question.
Cheater. No, I'm kidding.
I know. I had 6 crammed in one on Sunday night.
That kind of popped in kind of quick, and I'm
yeah, what are you getting with that?
Well, first I got AZ, which would be Arizona, was the first thing I got. And then after that I got a 6, so I'm assuming it's 6 months. Yeah, it just feels like there's a real, like a dry air. Like it feels like with this. So I'm going to say Arizona. I'm seeing out in that west. What is that? Yeah, that's the west.
Yep.
Western part.
Don't ask me.
I don't know. I'm kind of seeing like Arizona, Nevada. So maybe there's something in there too. But yeah, I'm getting like 6 months in the job. I'm not getting that.
Okay. I'm feeling like when you're putting it this way, I'm feeling like the middle bit. So I am feeling a shift over that way, but I also want to throw that piece in as far as location is concerned. So we're talking the middle bit, and what that can mean is sort of the center of, okay, the country, the atmosphere where you are, but also when you're saying West Coast, I do feel over to the right a little bit more. If we were like Arizona over here, I would be to the right of Arizona if I were looking at a map. Okay. So closer to the middle there. And hold on one second here. Okay. We'll get on to that question next. So what I'm really seeing you doing is working more with your hands. I feel like for a period of time, wherever you're being, I almost want to say being stationed, wherever you're being stationed, it almost feels like they sort of took that away from you. And it's almost like I'm not working with my hands as much. I'm stuck kind of working with a computer. I'm stuck working with my brain. I'm stuck working with stuff that doesn't feel like my passion. And so I see you being able to get more hands-on and pull out some of what you used to do, but you're also applying what you learned in between. And I feel good about all of it kind of coming together.
Yeah, I was just getting a suitcase with a lot of stickers, like people who travel and they get those stickers from Europe and they get them from like different states. So I'm seeing that this is a common occurrence for her. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a continuous thing. So
yeah, and then I'm feeling like settle. It feels like settling within the next 2 to 3 years. And I almost feel like, be done. I feel like you're just done. You're just unpacking. You're like, I'm just done. So just making that decision will help to propel it into existence. Okay, thank you for that question. I know that was from Sunday night's live show on Ustream. And we have one coming in through Para X again.
Yes, this one's from Ceiling Cat, and they want to know a new job or retirement this year for me.
Okay. The first thing that I'm getting with you is that I feel like you're sort of holding yourself back in some ways. I feel like you're reluctant to go forward. It's almost like one step forward, two steps back, one step forward, two steps back. Now you're kind of doing the hokey pokey, you turn yourself around. You sort of don't really know exactly what you want to do with all of this. And I feel like you're trying not to rock the boat or create an imbalance in the energy that's been there all along. And so, yeah, I mean, in relation to, to that, I feel like you do need to move forward and start grabbing at some other things that you want to be doing with work and money. Now, as far as the retirement is concerned, I feel like it's coming in closer to you. And I feel like it's coming in closer to you at sort of a rapid speed. And I could see it stretching out at about the 1 year mark, at the end of the 1 year mark. It feels like it would have normally been out a little further than that. I don't think beyond 4 years, but it felt more like 3 years. And I feel like being pulled in closer. Why it's coming so fast? I feel almost like you are accomplishing some tasks that you need to get done, and you're energetically actually pulling it into yourself. I feel good about that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was, at first I was getting a little sense of the, not really confusion, but the indecisiveness, like back and forth kind of a thing. But then I saw it kind of pushing, and then I got around 1 year. I said the one, like a circle with the one. So 1 year mark, and I literally saw like a little party and some champagne, like a celebration of the retirement. So I'm right there with you with the whole 1 year.
And I want to say that you do have a father here who comes and like closes the door to the back of the house and just like shut the door. And it feels like you're surrounded by like a lot of wood. It almost reminds me of like a wood cabin or wooden walls or something. And you're just in there enjoying. And you're just sort of in your own space, like your man cave or whatever,
Slippers, and coffee, just kind of sitting back.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Shut yourself in. It's going to be magical. I love it. So congratulations with that. Okay. Well, why don't we get back onto this, and then we'll start jumping back around onto these numbers. We have one more. We want to take one more? Okay.
Okay, this one's from Honeycake, and here she wants to know, what does the new year hold for me in career?
Well, Honeycake, we'll just tell you what. As far as... the first part of the year, I almost want to go into the first quarter, and I want to say I'm going into the second month, so February, obviously. I feel like things, I almost want to say dropping a little bit. It's almost as though we're kind of dipping down in energy and in productivity. And it's like it kind of holds there for a minute, and then it feels like it's shooting back up again. And so it's a little bit of a roller coaster, but I don't feel a lot of going up, coming down, going up, coming down. I feel more like I was way down, I'm going way up. And then from there, I feel like it's holding steady. It goes down a little bit, but then it holds steady pretty high. For what feels to me like a period of maybe 4 to 6 months, it does feel like that fourth month, from the fourth to the sixth month, it feels like there's a little bit of disturbance. I almost want to say somebody throwing stuff at you. It's almost like throwing, what do we call that? I don't know, throwing heat,
baseball, throwing something,
fire, throwing.
It feels busy around that too. Like it feels like go, like zoom. I kept getting the bees, honey bees. I don't know.
And almost like I don't know what to do. Almost like I'm just, you know how sometimes we're just surviving. We're just going. So you're going to have that for that period of time, and then it feels like it kind of stabilizes for another few months, and then it feels like another peak toward the end of the year, and that feels like prosperity, raise. Increase.
I think it's why you're seeing the bees, exactly, like the prosperity, profitable. It's definitely going to be a really good time frame, but those up peak moments, even if they just sit there for a little while, it's going to be a little nutty. I'm getting a little bit of, not really chaos, but just really kind of go, and then relax, and then go, and then, like up and down. I agree.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. Thank you. So, okay. Very good. Well, thank you for that question. The next thing we really wanted to talk about, and then I know we have about 20 minutes left in the show, so we'll get back to some questions in a minute here. But our topic today, for those of you that are just joining us, is about how to better communicate with your loved ones, the dead, in paranormal, in relation to your family and friends, whatever it happens to be. We want people to be less demanding, less judgmental, and more open and grateful for the communication. The next thing that we really wanted to talk about that can be a deterrent for spirit incoming through and communicating with you is crying, heartache, trauma, heaviness.
That emotion, that raw emotion, like, because they miss you, you miss them, it's crazy, but sometimes that can kind of prolong them from coming forward because they see you're upset, they don't want to upset you any further. They may have messages for you, like I say, my dad's like a perfect reference, really, because I was an emotional mess at the time, and that probably was one thing that really kept him from coming forward, because the one thing with my dad was he never, ever wanted to upset his family, ever. I mean, he was the disciplinarian, so, got the spanking every now and then if I was bad, but he would never purposely put it out there, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what I would say is definitely try to, even though it's very hard, because I can understand it's a very desperate and depressive circumstance when you're really tied, but that really does kind of push them back.
Yeah, and this is the thing. In our society, we push people too fast. Mm-hmm. We think the grieving period should be, like lunch break. It's like, okay, well, 3 weeks, for a gerbil, not even for a gerbil. Right. Like, I miss my hamster still, Nag Champa, from 8-10 years ago. My cat, oh my God, I mourn my cat like daily. Like, this is ridiculous. We want it to be fast, and people are impatient with us. But the typical grieving time is really like 5 to 8 years. Yeah. This is normal psychologically. I mean, you have to process all of this, and there are phases. We have to be gentle with ourselves. This is the thing. Don't be a sourpuss about it. Don't drag yourself down and stay in that stuck energy. Yeah. Don't be miserable about it. Try to be uplifted. Know that they want you to be positive. Know that they are still with you. Find something positive to put in your head every time you feel bad or low or heavy. And the hardest scenarios are when it's love or somebody very, very close to you. Okay, like romantic, and that's your only partner. Mm-hmm. Okay, granted, that's huge. Or they're your parents. These are your only parents. Of course, we get that that's big. But, what we really have to do is try and remember the good times that we had. Absolutely. And what they will come through and recommend from the other side is pick out a couple key memories that make you feel close to me, that were positive. And every time you feel like, oh my God, I can't breathe, I can never replace this person, I can't stand the divide. Yeah. Plug in one of those memories. It's mind control. Like, we have to control ourselves with everything else in life.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they want you to go on with your life, and they want you to be happy, and they want you to fulfill whatever goals and whatever you have. Like, they want to support you, and they're supporting you completely. So they really don't want to see you down in the dumps. It's like, hey, I'm good, I'm happy. And they will try to find their ways to communicate with you, too, to show you I'm okay. I love you, I'm okay.
Yep. Absolutely. And when, just like anyone else in your life, if every time you came near them, you upset them, we're having feedback. Okay. So... I don't know. It must be the thought in my head. Now, when I think, it comes in your voice, Tree. So this explains everything. Yes. I looked in the mirror today. I was shocked to see myself, not Tree. So, anyways, here's essentially, okay, this is the thing. If you were approaching, someone, and every time you approach them, you upset them, okay, you would, of course, just not kind of go over there anymore. And our loved ones they really just don't want to see us upset. So we need to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing. A lot of people will ask the same, why aren't my loved ones around? Why aren't they giving me advice? Why aren't they telling me? Did you already ask and they already told you? Maybe they already gave you instruction. My aunt has cut me off from the other side several times because if they've already said it,
they're not gonna keep going. Like, it's just like, it's right there. I gotta go.
I told you. Yeah, I told you what the answer is, or what you need to do, or that I'm here.
And that frustrates them because they're trying to do what they can to communicate, and they will have like a harder time communicating. Like, some stuff, what they do takes a lot of energy.
Yes, it does.
So if you don't catch it the first time, oh dear goodness, they got to go back through.
That's right,
and do it again. So if you're not opening your mind, if you're not really paying attention, you're just asking and just going on about your day and you're missing it, that's got to be frustrating for them.
Totally. And, we have to respect their use of energy. They're not wizards, this isn't magic. I mean, they are using energy just as we are.
It'd be cool if my dad was Dumbledore.
If he's totally, this would make sense.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Still, explains everything. So, the other thing then that brings us to number 3, which is don't negate them.
Right.
When they come through, embrace it, accept it, celebrate it, heed whatever information they did give you. Mm-hmm. And that will keep them coming back. The foundation of what we teach here in the Academy is gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. The more you have that, the more you will receive.
Absolutely.
Okay. The other thing we want to kind of get onto is the paranormal topic.
Yay.
Here's a whole different can of worms, okay? We love a ghost hunt, right? Mm-hmm. We love a haunted house. Mm-hmm. And then we love to demand, okay, it reminds me of Beetlejuice, right? We love to demand a show at dinner. And we want to have them come through and display for us whatever it is that we had seen or that we thought we saw. And when that doesn't happen, some ugly behaviors tend to come out of people, do they not?
Yeah, they sure do. And then they like to try to force it out. Like they try, literally, it's like poking the sleeping bear. It's provoking. Like, why would you do that? I mean, you don't know what. I mean, first of all, you have to kind of determine what is haunting this place. What is it exactly? Because you have, the residual energy and then you have the active energies and everything else. So it's like, if you don't know what's in there, don't go in there, start saying obscenities, calling these things names, and say, prove yourself to me, because I've known a few people who have gotten scratched, and you know what? That's what they were doing. They were thinking, even in your mind.
Even in the mind. I was saying it on Sunday's live show.
Yeah, even in your mind, if you say, hey, jerk, show me.
That's right.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Well, you were actually recently at the terminal with a group of people, and you didn't know, but one of the guys who was there as part of the tour with you.
Yeah, that was October. It was the weekend before Halloween, and I gotta say, I love that place. I want to go back. I want to live there. Can I live there? Anybody?
They probably would. It's a little cold, but...
Oh, I don't care. I'll bring a blanket. So, no, I had found out through one of my classmates, actually. Mm-hmm. She messaged me a little upset, wanting to know what happened to her friend, and I'm like, I don't know. Who's your friend? It wasn't in my group. And then she told me, and I was like, were they provoking? That was the first thing that came to my mind.
His back was torn
scratched.
up.
And he had 3 sections of scratches, 3 on the left, down the middle, and onto the right.
Yes, he did. And they were not normal nails or claws.
Nope, not at all.
And what he had been doing was in his head, he was saying, this is boring. This isn't good enough. Show me something. And then he said all he knew was his back started to get real hot. Took his coat off. That's what was underneath. But you were in another group that night. I was in
another group that night. I don't know if he was the group before me or after, because I believe there's 3 groups that night.
And you were having
a great experience. We had the greatest time. I still have 30 EVPs I need to go through because it was amazing. But yeah, there was other groups, and they even tell you, there's rules right in the beginning. The one guy, I feel bad, I don't remember his name. He was a really cool guy. Gave the rules. Mm-hmm. You break any of these rules, we hear or see you breaking any rules, you're out. Good. And but even if because I met the guy who got scratched. He's a sweet guy. But it wasn't intentional. I really do believe it was intentional. Well, whatever was in there that night.
Oh, it's not messing around.
They're probably aggravated because there were so many people coming through, right? And they wanted to be left alone. So even just the thought was just like, all right, buddy, we'll hear.
You want to, yeah, and
deal with it.
I think that the reason people really are reaching out the way that they are, whether it's positive or negative, we are desperate for contact with the other side. Yeah. We have reached such a point in our society where we are just starving for a crumb of anything. It's gotten really pathetic. Yeah. And, look at how many paranormal teams are popping up.
Everywhere,
The bottom line is everybody wants to communicate. Everybody wants to be a medium, right? Mm-hmm. And we are. We already are. There's nothing to do but learn the language. It's not that complicated. Mm-hmm.
You do lessons. Come here.
Yeah, come here. Take level 1. It's not that hard. You're given messages the very first day.
Some of us, pardon me for saying, but some of us are lucky enough to really have things right out the gate where we kind of really just know we're different, when we're children. Like when I was a kid, this is going to sound so funny or even maybe stuck up, but I used to go around, they'd be like, what's wrong with Theresa? Oh, she's just being mopey. No, I feel your energy and I'm special. Leave me alone.
Yep.
Leave
me in my special place.
Leave me in my special
me.
But
yeah, I don't.
Those abilities are there, and it just takes you wanting to be
And
open.
just because you grew up doesn't mean they go anywhere. And most of these people do find themselves on, these paranormal teams and stuff, but it's always going to break down to mediumship. Always. Everybody's starving for communication. And so the best way to communicate, even in a paranormal investigation, talk to them about what they might be interested in. Yep. Bring up some topics with the dead that you think... Introduce yourselves. Yeah. Be patient. Sit with your equipment. Be polite. Maybe if you know something about the spirit that was there, if it's a haunted house and you know that there was a little girl that died there and she loved dollhouses or something, bring a dollhouse with you. Yep. Bring something to interact with them. Bring something that would be appealing to them. Don't come like a lump on the log and don't come very forceful. But ask them questions about maybe how they passed, what their name is. Are they okay? It's always nice to offer help and ask about their experience. Give them an opportunity to chat.
And that, and that equipment too, this is always another topic too to get into, but the equipment's important as well. You never want to go in threatening. That's why we say introduce yourself, be polite and so forth. But you bring a flashlight, you bring like a recorder, just because you're not hearing them with your physical ears, you may very well get something on that tape.
Right.
That light may flicker. It may move. And nobody's near it. And there's no good breeze or anything. So,
yeah.
But definitely just, as we have already said, be mindful of your surroundings, of them, and just be respectful. And I think it'd be more of a pleasant experience. And keep your mind clear, because you don't want to think, prove it to me, because they're...
Yeah, clear audience is really overlooked. They can put thoughts in. They can hear our thoughts. And vice versa, if we do it right. Well, let's move on to a couple questions, and we have to wrap up the show, right? So these are kind of the last two, if we still have time to get to these. I have one from a Sarah. It actually comes through a Mandy. We are not reading Mandy. Okay, Mandy sent it in for Sarah. The question is, what does the divine want me to know about my romantic life? Let's see what we're getting with this. I feel like, woo, high energy. I feel like a lot of energy coming off of you. And I feel like you're also blocking. So it's almost as though you have this great energy that's kind of going out, or this sort of high-strung energy where love is concerned, and then a brick wall. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to tell you is that you need to find a nice, healthy balance with that. It's almost like open up a little bit of that brick wall and calm that energy down a little bit, so that it's able to connect with someone who would be a little bit more stable than what you're used to connecting with.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm also feeling like that energy that's up there, pull back just a little bit. Don't be too forward, too needy. Let them have their space too. I don't know. I'm getting a good... I don't know if she's in a relationship now, but I'm definitely kind of feeling like there's something swirling around, like there's something getting close, like it's close by, like
me too. Around. I'm not sure that it's the best hit. I'm not sure that it's the best connection. It's just swirling, it's moving, but it's lessons.
Yeah,
it's definitely that, and
patience.
Patience, learning, simple things, the day-to-day things, the detail, how to better communicate, stuff like that. But I do feel like there are some things from your past that you have to get rid of. I do feel like even though you've trained yourself not to say openly that you're putting some past experiences on your partner, it is in your head. And like we were just talking about with the paranormal, it is in your head. They can hear it. People are reading energy. And so the smartest thing for you to do would be to flush out. And it feels like two different people that you had dealt with who left two different marks on you.
I feel it's important to as much as you want to be appreciated, make sure you're appreciating them, because that kind of goes full circle too. Like there's a lot more there in a relationship when you're both on that good even level where you're both giving and, you know, taking and everything else. So
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. And I feel like that one where you said, you know, there's somebody there and it's kind of swirling like there's somebody there right now. It almost feels like he needs a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Not that he has low self-esteem necessarily, but I feel like I need a lot of recognition. I need a lot of attention.
Yeah, give the love as much as you want it to.
That one in particular, for sure. Okay, and then on to a question here also from the live show on Sunday that I didn't get to. This is coming from a 913 number. Ivy, I'm wondering about career changes, if I should or stay, or what if I decided to leave? Okay, if I should stay, or what if I decide to leave and change jobs? What about my moving situation and location? This is a lot. What are you grabbing at first?
I'm kind of feeling like stay put for the moment. I kind of feel like if you move too quick, it's like a hit or miss, and you don't want to take the chance at the miss. So I feel like something's on the horizon. Something is definitely coming like forward, like a focal. But I would say stay where you're at the moment. I feel like you've got a pretty good head on your shoulders. You'll know when it's time to jump, but don't be too eager in jumping.
Yeah, I'm really feeling the same thing. I'm feeling like within 4 to 6 months a shift, but it feels like not right now. Like this is not the time right now. You can sort of keep the boxes packed and be looking out for it. But it seems like there's more work that needs to be done before you officially go.
Right.
Okay. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We are going to wrap up the show. Again, there is a live Sunday interactive show that you guys can watch that I do also called Ask a Medium. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern on Ustream. So you just go to ustream.com. You can find more information on that. Also on Facebook at Ask a Medium. If you put it in the search engine, it'll go Ask a Medium Ustream. And that'll take you right to that event page. You could send your questions in there. And we'll be back on next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, find us at the Psychic Fair. Which day is this going to be?
January 23rd. It's a Saturday. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to benefit the Community Closet in Lancaster, New York. The Moose Lodge on Broadway in Lancaster. It's 5437 Broadway.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook, Theresa Matuszak, Matuszak, or my email, treestrunk@outlook.com. Also, if you're interested in my jewelry, it's here at the Academy, 4511 Main Street in Amherst, New York. And I'm out at Red House Tattoo at 4820 Broadway.
Awesome. Okay, and if you guys are interested in any kind of developmental classes, including psychic mediumship, Reiki, astrology, tarot, meditation, we have classes here that you can basically Skype into almost everything at the Ivy League Psychic Academy, and look it up on the website. We also support local artists, authors, jewelry makers, vendors here in the art shop in the front.
And the amazing Meet Your Guides this Saturday.
Meet Your Guides is Thursday.
Thursday. Why did I say 7? Yep. This Thursday from 7 to 9.
And you'll be here. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to do it again. So, okay. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for tuning in. And you can find me at Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, and at Ivy Rivera on Facebook. See you next week for Ask Medium.
Good night.